You know, taxpayers are smarter than you think. Joining us now is former White House Chief of Staff and Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney, who knows every trick in the book. There's no question about that. And Mick Mulvaney, welcome back, my good friend. And so Democrats are now openly saying, I think on the Sunday talk shows we heard this, and this morning, that in order to get the top-line budget number down, they're just going to have 5-year limits to these programs, and people are actually going to buy into that. What do you make of that?
That's exactly right. In fact, I'm surprised they're saying it out loud, but that's exactly how you do it. Don't take this the wrong way, but you've been around that town longer than everybody else, right? And you know how to do this as well. Gaming the system is not that hard. So to explain what's going to happen is that if a bill is in place permanently and it costs $5 billion a year, then the cost for that for budget purposes is $50 billion. But if it's only in place for 2 years and the law says it expires after 2, then it only costs 10. And what the Democrats are simply going to do is take all of these bills that they're going to have go on forever and ever and make them apply for only 2 or 3 or 5 years. They've already done it a little bit, Larry, with the child tax credit. That's only, I think, extended for 4 years. But by doing that, you can game the system. And what they're counting on is the fact that once you give somebody something for free, it's almost impossible to take it away in the future. So even though they say it's going to be temporary, 2, 3, 4 years, they know that the reality is it's going to be forever. But the score will come down under $2 trillion. Joe Manchin will vote for it, and we will have the same policies that are sitting on people's desks today.
So, okay. So a lot of people, you're going to say it's baloney. I'm going to say it's baloney. The whole Republican Party is going to say it's baloney. The CBO has been asked, the Congressional Budget Office has been asked by Lindsey Graham, who's the ranking minority on the Budget Committee now in the Senate, and Mitch McConnell, to price it out. The CBO has been asked to price it out. Do you think the CBO would go along with that baloney?
Sure. Keep in mind, there's a bunch of different baselines, and the baseline that they use for funding will take, for their estimates, will take the language as written in the bill. They have another baseline that they sort of say, well, this is reality, and this is what we really think it's going to cost. But that's not what anybody uses when it comes to vote on legislation. It's certainly not the baseline that the Democrats will use. If anybody in the whole world says this thing costs $1.9 trillion, the Democrats are going to say it costs $1.9 trillion. Face it, if you really think that it costs zero, what difference does the number make in the first place? And that's why I think the Republicans have inadvertently, I don't think they did this on purpose, fallen into a trap of fighting about the number. It's never been about the number, Larry. And I know that's strange coming from the budget director. It's not about the number. It's about the underlying policies. Even if these policies really were free, they're still terrible policies that eat at the soul of the country when everything is supposedly free and Medicare for everybody and you get everything and the government gets so big. It doesn't make any difference at the end of the day what that costs. It's wrong, and that's where I think Republicans should be focusing.
But, Mick, you know, I have praised Manchin, you know, reading his memo and his bold statement that we learned before the memo. He has called for strict limits on eligibility, the so-called truly needy, time limits, and workfare. And I would add education fare, too. But he's right about that. We should not have these entitlements for the middle class and the upper middle class. The country's not behind that. And there should be workfare requirement. So he, you know, on terms of the policies, Mick, I give him a lot of credit.
I do too. And that's the right way to argue against this bill. You know, so much of it has been, well, I can't vote for 3.5, but can I vote for, 1.9? But I think that's the exact, what you just laid out, what Manchin has objected to is the substantive objection to the policies. That's where we should be. I think it may be too late for us. And I think if Nancy can convince her moderates to vote for something that really, that might score at $1.9 trillion, they're going to have the votes. Keep in mind, Larry, that something has happened here that I don't think is getting nearly enough attention, which is that the Senate Republicans, many of them got played. There's 4 votes that had to take place. It's House and Senate vote on infrastructure and a House and Senate vote on the social welfare bill. The only place where the Republicans have any leverage is on the infrastructure bill in the Senate. That's the only place the Democrats need any Republican votes. and they already have them. As long as the House doesn't change that infrastructure bill at all, there'll never be another vote in the Senate on infrastructure again, and that's the linchpin to the rest of this going. Again, I don't think they did it on purpose. The president promised them that it was separate. Those two bills were separate: infrastructure, social welfare. They're not, so they were lied to by the president. But the fact of the matter is, it's out of the Republicans' hands now entirely because the Democrats have already got the Republican votes they need in the Senate on that infrastructure bill.
But Mick, won't they it's going to be one vote for two bills? I mean, I know that goes back on all their promises, and I'm waiting for moderate Democrats like my friend Josh Gottheimer, who's a good guy, to back Manchin. So far, they haven't issued any support for Manchin. But isn't it just going to be one big bill?
It might be in the House, but you can't do that in the Senate because that would be changing the underlying Senate bill on infrastructure. And if the House changes the substance of that bill in any fashion, then it has to go to committee, or it has to go to another vote in the Senate. If the House has to take the Senate infrastructure bill with no changes in order for it to pass, and I think that's what they're going to do. Could the House fashion a rule to where the House votes on it is one thing in the House? Yeah, but the House rules aren't binding on the Senate. So Nancy's a genius. She is. My guess is at the end of the day, this is going to pass. And that's why I think we should be talking more about the policies and less about the dollar amount.
All right. Well, I've been talking policies. We'll continue to talk policies. Mick Mulvaney. We
That's
know
why I'm
all
here,
the
Larry. Larry, are you tired of being right? I mean, you're still not right on permanent inflation, but you're right on just about everything else.
I know all the budget gimmicks. I learned it long time ago in Reagan and Stockman. We know every possible gimmick. This is a goofy gimmick. Anyway, Mick Mulvaney.